So let's continue with Ois Hey. In Ois Dalid, the Rebbe is explaining the idea of how the world, the Dira Batachtoinim, the Iker Shechina has to be specifically Batachtoinim down here, because the purpose of the creation is not for Giluyim. It's not just to reveal something which has already been there, because that's going down, but rather for Atzmos. And that's specifically this physical world down here. So since this is where Hashem wants it to be, this is where Hashem's essence is, and a person through transforming this physical world gets there. Now the Rebbe continues that there's two opinions brought down by the Tzemach Tzedek regarding the Kelim of Atzilus, which means we know that everything, all the Eser Spheres, are made up of Oiros and Kelim. The Oir is the energy, the light. Oir and Keli is similar to Guf and Neshama. Just like you have a person. A person is made up of two parts. The spiritual part, which is his Neshama, that's what sustains him. That's his energy, that's his life. And the physical part, which is the body, that not only is it that the body embodies the soul, or the body contains the soul, but more than that, the body is what you actually see. That's what expresses a person. A neshama without a body is something floating. It's not a person. A body without a neshama is lifeless. But a neshama without a body doesn't have its existence. The expression of who the person is brought with his body, with his guf. The same thing, you have the oid and the kli. The oid is the energy. Oid is the godly light, the godly revelation. So every sphere has the oid and the kli that contains it. Now we come over here to the discussion amongst the Mekubalim, which is what the Tzemach Tzedek brings down, the two opinions. The Oiros of Atzilus is the light, the energy of Atzilus. What's Atzilus? Like we said earlier, Etzle v'samuch. Atzilus is Gilui HaHelem. Atzilus means it reveals the hidden energy that's hidden inside Hashem. It brings it out. There's just like we said, the idea of the intellect and emotions, the faculties of the soul. What are they? It's the soul that understands or that knows. It's the soul that feels, but it's within the soul, the spheres, the midas, the moichin, and the midas of the soul are expressing something which is there in the soul itself. So also, it's godliness. Atzilus is godliness, but it's called a world because it's revealing that which is inside the essence of godliness. Now it's obvious that if that's the case, it's Gilui HaHelem, it's revealing what's hidden. The Oiros of Atzilus, the purpose can't be for them, because all they're doing is revealing what was hidden in the essence of godliness. So in where they were in their concealment, they're much higher, they're inside Hashem. Now they're being revealed, they're going down, it's a level down. Question is, what are the Kelim of Atzilus? Oiros is the light of Atzilus, that's for sure. Revealing and one with Hashem. What about the Kelim of Atzilus? Since they are expressing a different entity, are they a separate existence? Does that mean that in Olam Atzilus the Kelim now is Yesh Me'ayin, it's a new existence? Or are the Kelim of Atzilus merely also Gilui HaHelem, just like the Oir of Atzilus is? That's in a nutshell what the Machlokes is. So now the Rebbe says, if the Kelim of Atzilus are Gilui HaHelem, it's obvious that the purpose of creation can't be for Atzilus. because it's only revealing what was hidden in godliness. There's no purpose in that. There's no goal in that. All you did was you revealed, you brought it lower. The Kalim of Atzilus are also Gilei Halim, then for sure the purpose can't be in them. What about according to the opinion that the Tzemach Tzedek brings? That the Kalim of Atzilus are Yesh Me'ayin, they're a new existence. They're a separate existence. So the Rebbe says, nevertheless, even there, it can't be that that's the purpose. Because even when we call the Kalim of Atzilus Yesh Me'ayin, it's not really Yesh Me'ayin. It's Yesh Me'ayin compared to the Oires of Atzilus. But there's still a spiritual energy. Even Kalim of Atzilus, and the truth is, even Kalim of Bria and Yetzirah, and even Nasiya Ruchnis, they're all spiritual things. Compared to the Oir of Atzilus, it's called like a Yesh Me'ayin, but Yesh Me'ayin means it's an existence. Any type of oid, any type of spiritual energy, even if it's a kli, but a keli of spirituality means it's revealing something which is hidden in a higher form, in a higher place. Where is it hidden? And it comes from the source of Rishima. We know that in the way that Elokus comes revealed in the world, there's two levels. There's Kav, which is what we mentioned earlier. Kav is the godly light that shines after Tzimtzum, after Hashem removed His light from the world. He then re-shone it, sort of like we gave the mashal, like the ray of a laser beam. So it comes now down into the world, and it's kav, it's measured into different amounts of how much light and energy comes into each world. That's kav. Kav is oir. Then there's what's called the Rishimu. And that oir is for sure Gilei Halim, because revealing what was hidden in the higher level in godliness. Rishimu means the removal, when Hashem removed His earlier oir from before Tzimtzum, it's as if like when you can take, there's different mishalim on the idea of Rishimu. But let's use one of the mishalim. If you write something on a piece of paper and you erase it. So when you erase what you wrote, there's still a little bit of a imprint left from what you wrote earlier. So in a similar sense, when Hashem took away the light from before Tzimtzum, He removed that energy, the godly energy that was there before, but there was left over, a Rishimu, there was left over sort of like an imprint, which isn't light anymore, it's just the concept, the essence. Now the other idea, another mashal let's give for Rishimu, is when you have, for example, someone shows you with his finger, he motions that you should do something. In this motion, there's hidden a whole idea. If you said it, this speech could be a whole bunch of sentences. That would be the oir. The Rishimu is the idea which includes it all, or a blueprint of a building that includes everything that will come later in the building. In other words, the Rishimu is what it's called in Chassidus is the koyach hagvul shebein soif, the power of limitation in the infinite, which means that since Hashem is all powerful, just like Hashem has the power in the unlimited, He also has the power in the limited. Because if you say that He has power only in the unlimited and not in the limited, then you're limiting Him. So the oir, the light of Hashem, is the unlimited aspect of Hashem's power. The Rishimu is the limitation, but that's not oir, it's not revelation, it's not revealed. Like we said, it's like the imprint. And therefore, it didn't have to be taken away by the Tzimtzum, it could remain there. And that's where there comes the kelim, which is the limitation, the containers that contain the godly light. But the kelim of Atzilus, even if we call them Yesh Mi'ayin, they're Yesh Mi'ayin compared to the Oir of Atzilus, but compared to their source in Rishimu, they're merely revealing what was there in the source. Since they're a spiritual entity, any spiritual entity has to be revealing its source. And therefore that can't be the purpose, not even for the kelim of Atzilus, because they're still coming down from where they were earlier in their original source. It's still a descent. Unlike this physical world, which doesn't come from any source other than Atzmos. But it's only the power of Atzmos that's in it, which is Hashem's desire to make a world. So the physical, that's where it's all about. It's interesting, if we'll start comparing notes again, to look at the Shechina, which we'll try Mitzvah Hashem later and explain it a little more, but we'll look at the Tzemach Tzedek explanation in Shechina. What did the Tzemach Tzedek explain? Malchus of Atzilus, as long as it's in Atzilus, it's still not called Shechina, only when it becomes the Atik for the world of Bria. Which is what we're saying here as well, that even the Kelim of Atzilus, which Kelim in a sense, in a certain sense is like the Malchus, as long as they're in Atzilus, they're still spiritual. That's still not the ultimate Shechina. The ultimate Shechina is still something lower than that. So we still didn't, in the words of the Tzemach Tzedek, we still have the question, it's still in the spiritual sense. We still didn't force it all the way down to this physical world. But it's for sure not in Atzilus. We go on with the Rebbe Maharash and we say that even though we know that it's brought down in Kabbalah and in Chassidus, that every time a person does a mitzvah in this world, he's adding light in Atzilus. So that means that Atzilus is the purpose of creation, or at least there is a purpose in Atzilus, because when we're doing mitzvahs, we're doing something for Atzilus. Here we're saying that everything that we're all about is the physical world, and here we're saying that you're adding iris in Atzilus, you're adding lights and energy in Atzilus. So the Rebbe says, that the Rebbe Maharash explains about this, that it's not that they're going to Atzilus, these iris, but rather it's being stored in Atzilus. Its storage place, so to speak, is Atzilus, only for the time being, but it's not there in Atzilus. When Mashiach comes, it's going to be revealed down here. In other words, but before we go on and explain this, it's just interesting again if we'll compare notes to what the Rebbe Maharash explained about Shechina, is that why is Kav called Shechina? Because its purpose is this world. So yes, it's higher, but the purpose of the higher is to come to lower. Kav is the Gili, which is higher than Atzilus, but that would be called Atzilus Eklolos, or the spiritual energy, but its purpose is to come down here, and therefore that's already Shechina, because its main idea is coming down here. And it's the same idea. What we're saying is that when Hashem created the world, He wanted us to reveal the godly light in this physical world. The essential, the light which is from whenever we use a physical object, which has in it trapped the spiritual spark, which sustains it, and when we're using it to serve Hashem, we're freeing this spark, which is a great light, a great revelation that this world wasn't able to accept and receive, which is why it's hidden, so that it should now become revealed in this world. When will it become revealed in the world? In the time of Mashiach. Until then, it can't be revealed in this world, because this world, the whole point is that this world can't take it. So therefore, in the meantime, it stays in Atzilus, so to speak, like it's in storage, like it's in a box in Atzilus. But it doesn't go into the world of Atzilus, because it's not there for Atzilus. It's just staying there in storage. and it's like a locked box, and we all have the key. And we can use that key to open it up and to reveal the light of Mashiach. And Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow we'll try and explain a little more about this after going on to what the Rebbe Rashab says. We're going to go back to try and explain more of what we learned up until now.